Doing the same old isn't always going to cut it because you're going to be faced with opportunities that sometimes are above your ranking or above your knowledge or above your comfortability. And you want to be able to stretch yourself so that you can become the professional that your clients are looking for and that your clients need. How's it going? I'm Ruth Annan, lead photographer and owner of Annan Productions, a media company based in the DC area, servicing the United States and worldwide. We capture beautiful images for our clients. I also help photographers such as yourself and photographers elevating their business to reach their six-figure dream using their photography skills. Today, I had an interesting shoot. This is a client I've worked with before in the past, and I love working with them. I'm so happy every time they bring me along. And today's event actually took place in a parking lot, and it was set up for high school students who are interested in getting in the construction business, in the construction world. Students were able to rotate between vendors because everything was set up as if you were doing construction. So you had some people patching up cement, you had some people climbing up on a harness, you had people welding and doing plumbing-like things. So it was really, really exciting. I was shooting between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. So you can imagine, those are usually the toughest times to capture because the sun tends to be the brightest at those times. This is to give you a quick idea of what the sun is doing. Because we're outside and it is smack dab in the middle of the day, 12 o'clock, I have been playing with this light up and down, up and down, up and down. As you can see, the more I talk, the sun is directly above me. So the more I talk, the more you're able to see just how much manipulation I actually have to do. Right now, look at my face. And if I stand here and speak a little more, you're going to see just how bright things will get again. So make sure you know where you are. Make sure you have the correct equipment so that you're able to make the right choices, not just for yourself, but for your client and the images that they expect. There was a lot of manipulation with my settings, which I'm used to because capturing different events, outdoors, indoors, I know what to expect. I shoot with the 5RC and the 5R, the 24-70 lens and the 70-200. And my backup lenses are my 50mm and my 85mm. And the reason why I have those, everything in hand, is because you just never know what can happen to your equipment, what can happen to you. And you always want to be prepared. You never want to show up without something that you'll need for that shoot. And sometimes you just won't know what you'll need unless you bring most of it. I also have my SD cards, and I brought extra batteries. For this event, I ended up shooting with 4 batteries because the sun being out and it being a variable that I had zero control over, my batteries actually ended up frying up. I mean, they wasted much faster than they would if I were in a cooler environment, indoors, or even outdoors. So that was that. Thankfully, I bought about 8 to 10 batteries, and I ended up using 4 batteries. And because I have 2 cameras, 1 for each. So I ended up using 2 batteries on one camera, 2 batteries in the other camera. The second set of batteries actually they got to like half of its battery life, which was great. So again, it's important to really, really bring more equipment than you think you'll need. The fact that the sun was out today meant that although I shoot in RAW and most of the time I'm shooting in manual, today I actually went ahead and used my auto settings here and there. Not too much because I still wanted most of the control, but there were some scenarios where there was a lot of movement happening, and I really wanted to capture that without having to toggle back and forth between my ISO and my aperture. What I ended up doing was going into auto. I saw what it looked like. I actually liked what it looked like. I kept it that way. But then for the remainder of the event, I was, moving things along and trying to manage my settings the way that I know I'd capture it. Not only that, but I know exactly what I shot, how I shot it, and what needs to be done to get the image quality that my clients are expecting, what my clients are used to. And although I'm not always shooting outdoors, I love a good challenge. As a photographer, it's important to elevate your skills. Doing the same old isn't always going to cut it, because you're going to be faced with opportunities that sometimes are above your ranking or above your knowledge or above your comfortability. And you want to be able to stretch yourself so that you can become the professional that your clients are looking for and that your clients need. So while today could have been an extremely painful day for me, it's all fine because I prepare for those kinds of things. And those are things that you should also be preparing for. Think about where you're going to be. How is that going to affect you and the equipment that you're bringing? How will you leaving things behind affect the image quality that you want to put out there and that your client will gladly receive? And so those are all things that we have to factor in. I'm glad I factored them in. I'm so happy with the outcome of the images. Even though I have not gotten into the editing mode, I know that I shot to the extent where editing is not going to be painful for me. And although I love the sun, I do not love having too many variables that I cannot control as powerful as the sun. But when you know your equipment, when you know what you're doing, there is no way that the results will not be what you envision them to be. So while things may not always go according to plan, you always want to aim to have things go as smoothly as possible. Not according to plan, but as smoothly as possible so that you're happy, your client is happy, and there's a beautiful end result to everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down in the comments below what have been some of your nightmare situations that you found yourself in, and what's one piece of equipment that you do not leave your home without. I would love to hear from you. I love the interaction, the feedback from you all. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel, like, share with other people that you know that are looking to grow in their photography business, because I would love for you to bring them along on this journey. Take care.